What's going on, fans in WrestleReaction.net world? You are watching a special live edition of Living the Gimmick. And guys, I don't really know what to do with my hands right now. I'm not really sure what to do with my that was weird. So we're going to do this special live edition of the LTG podcast for you, the viewers. Thank you for tuning in. We've got a lot of people already jumping in so that you can watch with us and have a good time. We're going to talk about what we just saw, which was crazy, on Survivor Series. We're also going to talk about NXT TakeOver Toronto, both shows from the weekend. We're going to recap. What'd you say?
I've got Jon frozen on this.
Yeah, so we just lost Jon Alba. Hopefully he'll be back here soon.
We're freezing up a little bit.
Nope. Nothing.
Nope. Still no Jon Alba for some reason.
No problem.
What? John Boy, back out and come back in, bro. If you can hear me. This is live. This is the beauty of live.
It is.
Doug McDonald, Doug, I'm back here with you, of course, one of the hosts of Living the Gimmick. And, of course, Jon Alba, the guy that was trying to talk, who's now frozen and not able to speak. You want to see his beautiful non-existent mugshot there. You can see his actual his old school, this is like 3 or 4 years old, shot of his beautiful mug.
Look at that. Just right.
So
right
that's
there.
all we got at Jon right now. And, of course, also JT Pruitt is hanging out with us tonight to talk about some stuff. Let me see if Jon is attempting to come back in. I don't know what his dilemma is.
Just looking in the chat, and they've got me and you, but they said Jon was coming in and out. So at least it just wasn't on our side; it was on their side as well. Hopefully
well, there's a little bit of a problem. Jon needs to back out and come back in, which he's trying to do now. Apparently, his hangout went bonkers. So you're going to hang out with us for a little bit, and when Jon comes back in, we're actually going to start recording the podcast, because there's not, people can go back and watch this video anytime they want. They can see how we actually produce said Living the Gimmick podcast. And what happens generally is either JT and I or Jon and I get on our illustrious computers and embrace the sometimes working, most times not aspects of the interwebs. And once we get done there, once we get into all that, then we can actually start recording the podcast, and then we edit it all down, and then we post it, and you listen to it and all that jazz. And I'm not the one that records this.
No.
Jon Alba is, and apparently Jon Alba is now joining us. Hello, Jon.
Tell you what, Google Hangouts reacting very strangely to this Goldberg-Brock Lesnar because the moment that you went live, I just got kicked to the curb. So,
well, it's also
hopefully.
It's probably also having to do with the amount of viewership that we're getting right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's a good problem to have. So we're going to get the LTG podcast underway. If we have any technical difficulties, bear with, because we got a lot of people who want to get involved here. So hold on here. Bear with as I set up this recording. I think we're good. Okay. We are. Are you guys ready to lay down some Living the Gimmick?
I am.
All right. This Living the Gimmick is not brought to you by Barefoot, but instead a different form of wine.
Is it any cheaper, or is this an actual Italian wine? People don't realize that on a recent episode of Living the Gimmick, I discovered that Jon has a fetish for giant bottles of Barefoot white wine.
Fine. Anyway, let's get to this. Stand by, Doug. Stand by, JT. It's time to do a live edition of Living the Gimmick. Here we go. I'll take us in, why don't we?
The following podcast has been paid for by WrestleReaction.net.
Whenever ratings suck, there's only one guy you can turn to.
His name is John Cena.
There's
a lot of innuendo in this opening.
Well, I was just going to ask, was the conception with the face up or no?
Oh, Lord.
Yes, Vincent Kennedy McMahon and his I can't believe this. I can't understand your mumble. I don't know what you're talking about. And bled on you. And bled on you.
Yeah, and bled on me.
Oh my goodness. See, early in that intro, you said when ratings suck, there's only one guy they turn to, and then said his name is John Cena. But instead, they can also turn to a major angle, which we got at the end of Survivor Series, a shocking conclusion to the pay-per-view. Are Living the Gimmick. This is Living the Gimmick on the LTG Pod Wrestle Reaction live Sunday night. If you're listening to this afterwards, you already missed it. Jon Alba here, joined by Doug O'Mac as usual, and JT Pruitt from Wrestle Reaction.
Hello, hello.
And my goodness, gentlemen, a shocking, as I already said, conclusion to Survivor Series. Brock Lesnar decimated by Goldberg. 3 spears, 1 jackhammer, 1, 2, 3. So I mean, the internet is blowing up right now. Twitter's blowing up. Facebook's blowing up. I think even Vine, which is shut down basically, is
not even a thing. Not even a thing anymore.
I'm
They're blowing
seriously.
up.
How I mean, instant reaction, guys, to this conclusion of Survivor Series.
JT, I'm gonna let you speak. I'm still processing.
Yeah, just like Doug, dude. I'm still processing. I think since the time the pay-per-view has ended until we started now, I've watched the match back 3 times. Still have no idea.
That's been possible. You've been able to watch this full match back
3
times in the span of 20 minutes.
Right.
Okay.
I'm a little shocked. Definitely didn't see that coming. I mean, but I guess it does just go to show Goldberg really never could go over 5 minutes. So there we go.
Now we're gonna bury the guy after.
I'm not trying to bury him. I just, man, it was just like,
What do you do?
It was so anticlimactic. It was very shocking. We'll see where we're going. I just wanted to see a match.
I'll disagree with that.
I disagree with that. It was anticlimactic.
I just wanted to see a match, and we didn't get that.
That crowd went nuts for that.
Yeah,
I don't think,
and I'm very shocked that they did, because this whole month leading into this, we've all talked about how the crowd was going to be pro Lesnar, and it really wasn't. They were.
Doug, I have a thesis to make, but I will let you get your instant reaction in first. Well, I mean, you two are big WCW guys. You see this guy back for this. I mean, what is going through your mind as you see this?
Okay, so position. I'm laying prostrate on this couch. To people who don't know what that means, I'm laying straight, laying down on my couch. Match is beginning. Okay, match begins. Pushes him off the turnbuckle. I go, all right. I kind of get up on my elbow. He hits the first spear. I sit up. He hits the second spear. I'm on my feet because I'm like, there's no way this is going to end here. And then, of course, he gets him up for the jackhammer, and I can see it in Brock's face when he lays on top of him to pin him that he's not kicking out.
Yeah.
And immediately I'm like, almost the same posture as I did when Undertaker's streak got broken.
Yep.
And I went, they just spent 3 years, almost 4, building Brock Lesnar into this giant monster. And I disagree that it was anticlimactic, because I think it was a climax to this show, because this show as a whole sucked large amounts of donkey dong. But
yeah, it did. It did.
This was the climax that went boom. Okay, now I'm at least, WWF and WWE for years was terrible in the undercard. Main event left you wanting more. And the main event would ultimately leave you going, that was a pretty good show, even if the show sucked. This was one of those where the show wasn't that great, but there were certain moments throughout the night that made you go, and made you sit up and go, oh, that was pretty cool. Oh my God, he's dead. Or this one where it was, I can't believe, what did I just see? I gotta rewind that. And then it made me want to know what's next. Now, when you have something like this where Brock Lesnar, which I don't understand this at all, Brock Lesnar booked for almost 4 years. Okay, he returned in April of 2012. So for almost 4 years, this guy's been booked as a giant monster. Okay, it's taken 3 at least matches for certain guys to get victories over him. And that's usually 1 victory in a series of 3, not 2. You could say John Cena, Triple H. There are these guys that you could think of when we're talking about Brock Lesnar, Undertaker, if you count the finish from SummerSlam. But you got to think about these things where this guy was booked to be this unstoppable monster. And we just saw him job out to Goldberg, who has not been in the ring in 12 years and who was not expected to get this victory, which I think is why they pulled the trigger on this. I don't know where this goes. Goldberg was saying he's back, which is the same thing we heard from The Undertaker on Tuesday night on SmackDown. What does this mean? Are we going to get a WrestleMania match out of these two now? Did they only do this because Goldberg had his shoulder tweaked earlier on Raw this past Monday? Like, was this a quick change of the booking for this match? What does this mean is where you go from here. But as of right now, looking at the moment, I'm just baffled for all these reasons. Why is it that Goldberg, a part-timer who hasn't been in the ring for 12 years, why is it that he gets the honor of not only pinning Goldberg clean in the middle of the ring,
Brock,
but he squashes him where Brock barely got any kind of offense in other than some shoves around. Mm-hmm. Can someone explain this to me?
Okay. So, again, you guys are watching the live edition of the Living the Gimmick podcast here on Wrestle Reaction. If you're listening to this on iTunes, Podbean, anywhere else, we thank you as well. So, what I make this about personally is this is much more about the conquering of the conqueror than it is about Goldberg winning. That's the way I view this in the grand spectrum of things. I'll say this. Goldberg got an awesome response throughout the entire match, which I know a lot of people were really, really worried about. I thought he got a great response, and everyone complained their first WrestleMania match was just a bunch of standing around and loose grappling. That didn't happen this time, I'll tell you that.
It was, but yeah.
No, it absolutely wasn't. They're not saying that was not a justified claim, but to me, this is all about the conquering of the conqueror, and that is a major angle that you build now. I don't know if that means now Goldberg's out on Raw tomorrow and Brock just mutilates him and he goes off on this next level Brock Lesnar. People were complaining that Brock Lesnar was getting stale, that we had seen too much of the Suplex City gimmick, that all of this was just a schmaz for him and that we haven't seen character development. Well, Brock Lesnar, to my count, has lost 5 times clean since he returned to WWE. One of which
4 years ago.
One of which wasn't even a loss because Roman Reigns took the pinfall in the triple threat at WrestleMania.
Yes.
I'll tell you 6 if you count Fastlane too. I just, to me, this is more about Brock Lesnar than it is Bill Goldberg. And they were trying to get your attention and to get your eyes and to get these network subscription buys for the latter part of the fall season into the winter. And I'll tell you what, everyone's going to be talking about this. Everyone is talking about this already, and they're going to be talking about this for at least the next 24 hours. SportsCenter, everyone. I mean, I was scrolling through Twitter before I started here. Every major sports network, not just ESPN, everyone was talking about this. Sports Illustrated, CBS. This was exactly what they wanted to do. Now, it makes you think, is a surprise for the sake of having a surprise a good thing? Not entirely sure, but I think this is about launching what's next for Brock Lesnar rather than what it is for Bill Goldberg. What is it that's next for Brock Lesnar? I'm not entirely sure because I think we had all imagined that this was eventually going to build to someone conquering the conqueror on this enormous stage with this perfect build. They went for the shock factor instead, just like they did with The Undertaker.
Which put my hands on my head, just like it did then. So it worked.
Just like it did tonight.
It absolutely worked. The question is, is your theory what they were thinking? And it probably was. Let's be real. You have guys that believe there's something needed to be shaken up for something. Obviously, the rumor mill was going crazy about a Shane McMahon, Brock Lesnar program, which I think after tonight, everyone can clearly see should not happen.
Nope.
Yes.
But at the same time, that was where the rumors were going. I really don't think that's happening anymore. I don't think that was ever, I think they may have set up for something like that, but I don't know what's going on there. The biggest thing here is it does show an element of Brock Lesnar that we haven't seen in a long time, and that's vulnerability.
Yep.
He lost clean in the ring. 1, 2, 3. 3 moves and was put down. Now the question is where Paul Heyman has claimed for 4 years that there's no one on the roster, the active roster, which is where this whole story comes back into play, that Goldberg had to come back after 12 years to destroy this guy and squash him. This was a squash match with Brock Lesnar doing the job. This is not something that we normally see. So it is something to bewilder. It's something new. It's something fresh. It's something shocking.
It's a character.
The question is, it is a character change. The question now is, with the vulnerability being exposed, who now steps up to the plate and says, well, I've seen the game plan. I know what takes Brock down.
Yep.
I want a shot at Brock Lesnar. Now on Twitter and on different podcasts and interviews, that man has been Kevin Owens. And I don't know how we get there, but I don't know who else would want to take this advantage and step up and say, hey, it's me now.
There's one guy that comes to mind for me.
Yep.
Yeah, well, he ain't on the roster yet, but I hope it happens soon.
He is on the roster.
Who are you talking about?
His name is Braun Strowman.
No, God. You can't be.
That's not who I was thinking about.
I'm not telling you, and I'm not telling you here that I'm booking Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar.
You better not be. You better not be.
But I'm telling you, if that's the guy you're talking about, think about it. Bill Goldberg just dominated Brock Lesnar. Who else have they been portraying? And tonight is the perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Nia Jax.
Nia Jax. The way they booked Braun Strowman this evening and the way they booked him up building into this was laid out exactly like that. Now, there's 2 ways you can go with this Brock Lesnar character change. Now, you can make him babyface where there's kind of sympathy for it.
No.
Or you could go the more logical route.
Yeah.
Where he's full on heel. In that case, you're not getting Strowman. And you have Brock just go on a freaking tear from the Rumble up until whatever. And I still feel like we're in a rut here, though. I still feel like we're.
No, dude, I'm with you. To me, there's only one guy, and he's unfortunately not on the active roster. And all 3 of us know exactly who that is, and that's Samoa Joe. That's the guy that I would have come after Brock next. But we all know after NXT, Joe is now the NXT champion until the foreseeable future.
And we will talk about NXT TakeOver as well on this show. Make sure you guys are sending us messages in the chat. JT is in there. JT, you can rattle off thoughts throughout the show if you want. You can do that at Wrestle_React, at the LTG Podcast, at Jon Alba, at Doug O'Mac, at JT Pruitt 25 as well. We want to hear about that. Let's get to the card now, guys, and just discuss what we saw with Survivor Series. We'll get to NXT TakeOver, all that other good stuff as well, and we can add in it.
Before we break down every individual match, what were your thoughts, John, on the entire show altogether?
Yeah, some moments where I was definitely into it, a lot more moments that I wasn't. They did a really good job building up the importance of the Survivor Series matches, the elimination matches, I mean. But again, as we discussed on the podcast last week, Doug, there's that whole logical of why are these people agreeing to work together? And thankfully, they addressed that logic in the main event, not the Goldberg one, but in the 5-on-5.
Yep.
They addressed that at least.
It's still JT. Go ahead. I gotta. There's a rant coming.
Yeah, and you're gonna get one from me for a little bit. Up until the last 5-on-5, I was extremely bored throughout the entire night. I don't know if it's because I drank a little too much this afternoon and I had a little, coming down, a little sleepy time, but I was just not really engaged. I came in halfway through the women's match and immediately was asking you guys questions because it didn't make sense to me. Why was Nikki there? I had no idea, or not there, as I should say. The 5-on-5 match, even though it ran so entrances started at 9:05, The match ended, I believe, right at 10:09 or something like that. So they went about an hour. It did not feel like an hour, and I really, really enjoyed that match.
You're welcome. I said last week this match would go an hour.
Yeah, and I thought it was great, dude. I really, really enjoyed it. Good storytelling all around. Great spots, good high spots. And we didn't get the typical LOL Roman wins, so that's good with me. Other than that, the last two matches was what I was looking forward to all night. The tag team match to me was a waste. It was too much, too many guys, too convoluted, all that stuff.
This show went off the air at what, 10:29?
10:27.
10:27. I totally forgot this thing started at 7 o'clock tonight.
You did. There's proof of that Doug actually forgot that the show started.
I literally, and the whole time I'm going, I know this is going to be a 4-hour show, and I guess I'm just thinking it's going to go till midnight because my brain has been overloaded with stuff over the last 2 weeks with work and everything else going crazy, getting ready for Black Friday, all that kind of stuff. So this stuff's happening, but I'm going, okay, I've got plenty of time. I got to go do this stuff before I can sit down and watch the show. Got people coming over to watch it. We're going to be hanging out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there going, all right, thinking I had an hour. I'm thinking the kickoff show starts at 7 like usual. And John at 6:45.
6:55.
6:55. 5 till the pay-per-view is supposed to start. I'm sitting there with a group of people out at my other job, and I'm sitting there going, what's he talking about? He's getting sick of hearing Booker T talk. Is the kickoff show on early?
I never said that.
And immediately I was like, wait. Is the kickoff show on? Like, is this start at 7? John's like, dude, it starts in 5 minutes. Oh, okay. So I have to go and, I put it on my phone, turn it on silent. I'm watching the first match and everything as much as I could. I was just glancing at it for the first 30 minutes. So I didn't even miss the finish. I got home and watched the finish. But this thing started at 7 and went until 10:29. Why did this show start so early? Why did they build this as a 4-hour show? Swerve? So these fans thought they paid for a ticket that's going to get them a 4-hour show?
For 6 matches.
They did with the pre-show. They got 2 matches in the pre-show.
Okay, 8 matches.
What was on the pre-show? Because I didn't even see that.
They had his 6-man cruiserweight match, and they had Kane versus Luke Harper.
Okay, so I didn't miss anything. Cool.
No,
all right, so
we talk about those.
Oh man, I just there's so much WWE logic surrounding this pay-per-view. 4-hour show that you didn't need to bill for 4 hours. All these teams are made up of heels or faces. The crowd doesn't know who to cheer for and who not to cheer for, even if they're supposedly together. All week I'm seeing, and on TV I'm seeing these guys that hate each other's guts standing beside each other saying, oh, here we go, red team, blue team. And we get to this thing, and I'm going, all right, there's no way I said it last week, there's no way this show goes 4 hours. And you can't draw this thing out, and it didn't, so why did they bill it for 4 hours?
Well, first off, I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about with that Booker T comment that you made, but let's get to the actual card itself.
It was made, and I'm still sitting here going, this shouldn't have been 4 hours. The booking was stupid for almost everything.
Shucky ducky.
Most of it did not make sense.
Shucky ducky. Quack,
Most of what happened tonight did not make sense at all.
Let's go through each match here real quick.
And I'm still just baffled that Brock just got squashed.
Okay. So we get the women's match. They run the angle in the beginning. Nikki Bella is taken out. They show Alexa and Carmella deviously smiling. They're all happy. Charlotte's laughing. Dana's laughing. So we don't know.
Her teammates are laughing.
Natty's like kind of giddy about it. She's like, she's worried, but she's like at the same time, hey, I get to wrestle in Canada. So Brian puts her out there, and she gets in this match. Okay, so I saw a lot of people really, really, really upset with this match who thought it stunk. I didn't think it stunk by any means. I didn't think it was a good match. There were a couple botches. they kind of botched Nia's elimination, which wasn't what you wanted. But there were some good spots, and Becky got a great reaction. I was really happy to see the great reaction for Becky. Here's the bottom line. Death, taxes, Charlotte winning on pay-per-view. That's simple. Don't pick against her.
Yep.
You should all know this by now. Any thoughts on this guy? I mean, Sasha got thrown away pretty early in this match.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That roll-up was just bad. Again, don't pick against Charlotte. I said it on reaction. Don't pick against her. I picked Raw. Win for me.
Looks like they're going early with this Bailey Charlotte program though, because Charlotte attacked Bailey afterwards. Any thoughts on that, Doug?
That's definitely happening. The booking of this thing made no sense. That's what I took away from this. Okay, at least at the end of this, Charlotte attacked Bailey. They have issues, so I get it. Thank you for trying to throw a little bit of logic back into this thing. But why was Nikki Bella eliminated and Natty went out there if Natty wasn't going to be the sole survivor or at least a more impactful player on the SmackDown team?
Well, she was in there till close to the end.
Come on, son.
It was like me. I can tell you why. It was the Canada Pop. That's
Come on,
exactly
son.
what it was. The Canada Pop.
Then why was she booked as the team captain the whole time? If they knew they were going to do this, it's stupid.
Well, they're building another angle for Nikki Bella, and I'm not.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see if there's congruent women programs on SmackDown.
I mean, they've done it before. I'll tell you what. Alexa Bliss actually got a great response.
Once.
Alexa Bliss,
no, she did. She did.
Completely honest, almost all the women got really great responses tonight.
Yeah. It went 30 minutes, which I think was a little too long, but I understood why. As I said, this thing was at least going to go 35 to 40, and it went just around 33 to 35. So it was what it was. Yeah. It started the show. Thank God it wasn't later on in the show. And
you have a problem with Nia just kind of being done away with?
Yes. Huge problem with that.
From what I saw of Nia, she was running roughshod for a while. And then it took, 2 girls to take her down?
Yeah.
They had a botched DDT spot, and then she tapped.
Well, this was Botch City.
Yeah, that whole match, there was a lot of spots that were missed. I don't know, man. I just look at Nia, and I think there's such a unique thing that they have, and it's just the way she just tapped, it just didn't. I was like, okay, cool. So now I don't care about her either. That's kind of that's how it made me feel.
I don't know.
I'm not tossing her to the curb just yet.
Yeah,
I'm a little harsh tonight, guys. Sorry.
He's feeling harsh. By the way, guys, if my voice cracks, I do apologize.
You just turned 13.
I just turned 13, and I had a little bit of a conniption fit at an independent show last night, so I do apologize. Okay, so
talk about Botch City, huh?
Don't even. Not on me. I didn't botch anything. Okay. What match was next? Next, we had the
Intercontinental Championship match.
Intercontinental Championship match, which good back and forth action.
I was enjoying it.
Yeah. I mean, again, another one that I thought was just completely muddled by the finish. And Frank Manzo, who's not here, migraine, was supposed to be here, but he's getting some sleep. He'll catch this tomorrow. Frank didn't mind it because it's heel stuff. It's a heel doing heel stuff.
It is.
I'm totally fine with heels doing heel things if the person doing heel things isn't watched by the referee the whole time they're doing heel things.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the fact that Maurice is over there ringing the bell with the ref, the camera shows the ref turning around and saying, no, staring at Maurice. And then the camera cuts to Maurice, and she still has the hammer in her hand. She throws it to the timekeeper and goes, it was him. He was ringing it. No! Yeah. He saw you with the hammer in your hand. This is baffling why he wasn't. Like, if he's going to retain the title anyway, and it's going to be a F finish, if it's going to be a screwy finish, why did it not just come down to a DQ? Because if it's a DQ,
it's logic.
He still keeps the title.
Yeah.
All they had to do with the referee seeing her with that hammer in her hand is DQ them. And they didn't. Instead, they acted like they didn't see her. And he said, no, 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 no. And Miz did the roll-up. And the ref's like, oh, yeah, I got to count. 1, 2, 3, match is over. And I'm just like, they really think we're stupid.
I mean,
Like it's if the writing's not on the wall with just about everything else they do, Vince seriously thinks, nah, they're stupid.
they'll never get it. I mean, you kind of had to figure at some point tonight you were going to get a screwy finish because Canada, right? So
we saw 3 sharpshooters, by the way.
Right, exactly. Like you knew that was going to happen. I really enjoyed this match for what we got, but again, at the end, the finish just killed it for me.
How about Dolph Ziggler being nowhere to be found?
Oh, Dolph.
like, huge build up to him winning the title. He does it. It's great. Everything goes awesome. And then the 4 days before the show or whatever it is, they take the title off him and he's nowhere to be found.
It's so weird. It's so weird because that Ziggler versus Zayn would have been a show-stealing match, dude.
The guy who was the lone survivor 2 years ago at Survivor Series.
Yep.
Yeah. With
Sting helping out.
Putting his hand
huge,
over.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Huge angle.
Gotta think they still might run a cross-promotional program with the two with Zayn and Miz now. I wouldn't hate it.
Well,
I wouldn't hate it.
If you were paying attention during the match, Ziggler was there because JBL consistently called Zayn Ziggler.
No.
JBL did a lot of that.
JBL was drunk tonight.
There was a much bigger JBL botch later in the night, which we'll get to.
JBL was completely bonkers.
Come on, Michael.
So that brings us to the tag team elimination match, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So,
15 minutes of entrances, by the way.
First half of this match, not very good. Another set of swerves here. The New Day taken out instantly.
Yep.
These guys are on their way to breaking the longest tag team title reign in WWE or F history.
Correct.
And they have lost the last 4 times they've been on television.
Also correct.
Clean.
John, I the second half of this match, once we got down to especially Sheamus and Cesaro versus the Usos, loved it. Man, they tore it up. I thought it was good.
Match took off once we started getting the high spots where they started.
But I'm talking more specifically.
The Usos were really good in this, and so were Cesaro and Sheamus. But again, character development and whatnot. The Usos, who they built as these mega heels in the tag division on SmackDown for the past week and a half, have been babyface.
So they're heels again, right?
You know the drill.
WWE logic.
So after the match, after Team Raw wins, Stephanie and Mick say, you know what? Cesaro and Sheamus, they saved our butts. They deserve a title shot. So that will be happening on Raw. And it's not as if they didn't just do a whole best of 7 that ended in a tie that resulted in a tag team that resulted in a title shot program. Because now we're getting it turns out all they had to do was just win one big match, and that was it.
Yeah.
They're getting it.
Is everybody following along with this?
The biggest issue here is what happened with the New Day. I mean, I can't explain it other than they're just trying to swerve for the sake of swerve. I can't explain it.
No, it is absolutely baffling.
Top merchandise sellers.
Yeah. And we're supposed to keep caring about them because Big E gets on a microphone and says, whatever city I'm in. This is what we're supposed to care about because they've lost the last 4 times they've been on TV clean.
I'll say, good showing for Anderson and Gallows tonight.
Yeah.
It's about time, right?
They look good. Anderson's spine busters, man.
That's what I was just about to say that, dude. He's got a great spine buster.
I do enjoy how Corey Graves puts the emphasis on Anderson when he hits a spine buster like that.
He does. Good observation, Doug. So that brought us to the Cruiserweight Championship match.
I'm a man with a plan.
Great promo for this match.
They had to make it extra good and extra long so they could tape the ropes purple.
Really good. And Brian Kendrick is so good, man. His character is awesome. It's just like, so we get this match, and I said this on the podcast last week.
I'm the man with the plan.
I said, don't be so damn certain that they're moving the show to the division to SmackDown. Because now the finish of this match, which was a pretty decent match, saw Kalisto and Kendrick both get manhandled by Baron Corbin, because now Baron Corbin is going to play the character of, I'm the big giant, these guys are all wimps. And he will probably shooting on 205 Live with these guys. TNA, if I'm not mistaken, did a very similar storyline to this with Kevin Nash about 10 years ago with the X Division.
Dude, Sheamus did this when he returned in 2014.
It's been
last February or last whenever it was,
but,
March or the day after WrestleMania, whenever it was. This was Sheamus's angle.
That was, yeah, but this is him going after an entire division instead. I mean, okay, so here's what they should have done, because now it wasn't the stipulation, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't if Kalisto won the Cruiserweight Championship. It was if Kalisto won, correct?
They never said he has to win the championship. Absolutely.
So all they had to do was have Corbin hit Kalisto first. Kalisto won by DQ. The division gets moved to SmackDown, and Kendrick, because they wanted to keep the title on Kendrick, which is fine, and Kendrick retains the title.
Dude, this whole thing was so marred with WWE logic. Like, only Vince can comprehend this. He gave himself a perfect out to move the entire division, which has to be in the town for SmackDown every Tuesday anyway, because they're shooting an hour show after they shoot SmackDown from 10 to 11 called 205 Live.
Great name, by the way. Great name.
And instead, screw finish. GD, they just know that there ain't no reason to do that. Make them tour with NXT Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Make them go to Raw. That we'll make them pay for a rental car to drive to the next town to do their real show, and then they can go do whatever the heck they want. These GD little vanilla midgets.
Look, okay, all right. Look, I didn't. I'm not going to hate on the whole Corbin aspect of this. What I will hate on, logic-wise, is, look, I get that Kalisto had issues with Corbin and Corbin had issues with Kalisto, but shouldn't Baron Corbin's more pressing issues be with the fact that he was taken out of the 5-on-5 Survivor Series team?
Yes, it should.
After Kalisto?
Yes, it should.
Right, cue it up, Doug. Cue it up. Go ahead. I'm giving you the permission to cue it up.
Do I even need to, is the question.
No.
I will.
Well, you're listening to the LTG podcast live on Wrestle Reaction. Jon Alba, Doug O'Mac, JT Pruitt here. We're reviewing Survivor Series. If you're listening to this on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, thanks. Stuff probably sounds outdated by now, but that's okay. Let's go to the meat and bones of this show now. The 5-on-5 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. Team Raw, Team SmackDown. This match went more than an hour.
The one with male parts.
Okay. All in all, I would say this was a pretty damn good match.
Yep.
Wasn't bad.
There were a few moments that you're saying to yourself, okay, I mean, first off, hopefully Shane McMahon's alive. Hopefully Shane's alive.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I thought Roman was dead.
I thought Roman got concussed too.
No, it was, I mean, Shane, I kept watching it back and I saw a GIF of it. Shane goes for the coast to coast and they do this insanely dangerous spot, which if the timing was right would have looked unreal. But it was such a risk doing it. And Shane takes Roman's shoulder to his chin and just hits his head smack dab. And Roman goes for the pin. And Shane is in La La Land.
Yep.
And his shoulder just rolls up inadvertently. So, they call it as a shoot. So they have to, he kicks out at 2 technical.
Count. Yeah, I mean, he stopped the count for it.
I mean, you're looking at Shane's face and he's in outer space.
Oh, yeah, it's Enzo. It's Enzo.
Right. Yeah. Not quite to that point because he was moving at least, but it was bad.
Well, yeah, but there was just nobody home.
Yeah, and Shane managed to tap his head, I guess, to show that he hurt his head.
Right. Yeah, because the ref was like, Hey, are you okay? No. Head.
So, we're not laughing at Shane McMahon.
No, it was just funny because it was like
This guy's very hurt.
it was
John,
like
you have been
Festus.
John,
It was
you
a
have been
Festus
called
move.
out in the chat room. It is GIF, not GIF.
It's not
Apparently,
GIF. I worked for Major League Baseball, which hosted the Webby Awards, which gave out the Webby Award to the man who invented the GIF, who said that it was pronounced as GIF. So thank you very much. If you'd like to come at me, you can tweet at me at Jon Alba, and we'll go at this all day long. But anyway,
Where's the Emmy, John? If you're going to talk about it,
I mean, if
you
we're
got
gonna
it sitting beside you.
of course he does.
This guy.
we're gonna go that we can
He's
get
got,
that deal.
he's got it sitting right beside the bottle of Barefoot.
No, not even close. So just so you know, okay. Anywho, this match. I mean, this was an awesome match, and the star of this match to me was Seth Rollins. He was great, and the crowd,
him and AJ. I got to give him and AJ the same amount of credit here.
the crowd did not like Roman Reigns.
Most laughable statement of the evening. The crowd did not like Roman Reigns.
No,
They
did
booed
not.
him out of the building.
They definitely. booed him.
Anytime he was on screen, anytime he was in the ring, they booed him out of the building.
I'll say this. Normally with the 5-on-5s, there's always like one person in the match. You're like, what are they doing in this match? I thought everyone was treated pretty well in this. Braun Strowman came off great, in my opinion.
Yep.
They even used Ellsworth the right way.
and Ellsworth was
fantastic.
Ellsworth was used perfectly. So Ellsworth is now, by the way, on a full-time
Dead.
WWE contract. Dead. He was destroyed by Braun Strowman, which was good storytelling because it started with Braun Strowman.
Good spot too.
And they teased that earlier in the night, which was fantastic.
Which was really good. And man, and they're doing this stuff with Bray Wyatt now and Randy Orton, and I'm thrilled about Bray Wyatt getting this victory here.
Yeah.
I thought it was,
Me too.
and one more note I want to add: the Shield reunion, which everyone popped for, was great.
Yep.
Well,
Can you imagine when they actually reunite? It's going to be bonkers. Bonkers. I marked for it. I was super happy to see it. We knew it was coming. I mean, you guys talked about it last week, and I think me and Frank talked about it on Monday as well.
yeah, I mean, it was inevitable. When he got eliminated early, I was sitting there talking to my buddy who was here, and I was like, well, at what point does Dean Ambrose run back down here? And about 10 minutes later, here comes Dean Ambrose. Seth Rollins, definitely MVP with on the Raw side, and I would have to say AJ Styles on the SmackDown side. Both were doing excellent work. Seth needed another bottle of water because his hair was super dry. 20 minutes into this match, he was very frizzled. Looked like a cheerleader on the sideline when he was cheering for Team Raw because his hair was so poofed out. But I can't complain much about this match. The match was booked the way a traditional 5-on-5 elimination tag should have been booked. I think the right guys win, even though it's still very awkward to see Randy Orton with the Wyatt family. And I think that's going to get us to a Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton WrestleMania match down the line. It seems like that's how they're painting this picture. But I thought it was a good deal. I thought it was a good match. Owens just getting thrown out for using the list.
Well,
As
I
a
mean,
DQ.
it was weird, but
After the Maurice spot just kind of made me go, I'm done. Like, this is just ridiculous.
But I liked it. I liked the spot. Had it been on its own without the Marie spot, I would have loved it.
Jericho should have cried more about the list. But
well, so I mean, Jericho, I don't know. Again, this is those little things. When he picks up the list, he stares up the entranceway at Kevin Owens. They did not do a good job. They did not do a good job capturing that he was looking at Kevin Owens. But that's what he was doing, and he's like, "How could you?" You know, that was essentially what he was doing, and that was interesting, and maybe we are going to get a little burn with this. This feels like the appropriate time to say this. We're talking about camera work here.
Oh,
okay.
God.
So
Consistently awful.
I made this point yesterday to the guys, and tonight only further drove this home.
And we got tweets about it.
Yep.
Did we get tweets about it?
Yes.
Okay. So this is even further
Ed
proof.
Call. There's your shout out, Ed. You brought this to our attention after we already had it brought to our attention.
So I work in TV. I production. I pay attention to a lot of those little things, and I've been noticing.
You have a Gimme. Come on.
That's true. For the past week or so, I've noticed after anything that happens, they cut to these random reactions of like one singular fan. And it's like immediate. So they have their camera set on this fan, knowing something big is about to happen, and they just wait for a response. And like 40% of the time it works. The other 60%, the fan will just be like on their phone or something like that. And like it just doesn't happen. And tonight was filled with those. And like normally they'll do like crowd shots of like a full group or a full section of people reacting some way. And if something really shocking happens, they'll go in on the shocked faces. But this is happening after like a Superman punch. It's like Superman punch, little kid going like
like zoomed in talking head style.
Do that again, John.
like Home Alone. You know, that's
right.
What,
so,
like the.
What this is about, because you're playing with fire because you're anticipating a reaction. And what if they don't react the way you're hoping they do?
It comes down to a kid that realizes the camera's on his face and he's just
Ms. Girl.
Flips the bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just like
picking his nose.
Like
yeah. Doing some other nasty hand gestures.
I just had to make the point. Any final thoughts you want to add about Goldberg Lesnar, guys?
I mean, epic entrance. Goldberg looks fantastic. It's weird. I did notice, like, it's weird to see him like with his arms lean.
Yeah,
because his shoulder tat wrapped all the way around to the back of his arm because it's just a lot smaller. But I mean, there's not much to add other than that was unexpected, and we have no idea where this is going to go. And at least it left us with something to talk about. When this pay-per-view overall would not have left us with anything but a myriad of special moments, but a lot of dull and predictable and botched spots.
Yeah.
That brings us to NXT TakeOver,
which was phenomenal. Best show of the weekend.
Yeah, NXT TakeOver was pretty darn good.
I said it on Twitter last night after the show ended. I was like, good luck. Good luck, main roster. There's no way. I know what kind of matches you have on deck for 4 hours, for 3.5 hours. And there was no way they were going to come even close to the product that NXT put on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Ty Dillinger achieved Daniel Bryan status this weekend.
Yes.
Because everyone was chanting 10.
10.
10 is the new yes.
And he and Bobby Roode had a really good match.
Yep.
I know you're stoked about, as am I, about Roode changing his finisher up. And yeah, the entrance was, I mean, it's WrestleMania caliber, you know?
The entrance was glorious.
But everyone watching TakeOver, as soon as they were hitting social media, were ranting and raving and loving these entrances, which they are now doing at every TakeOver.
Right.
Which is 4 times a year, okay? This isn't just a WrestleMania thing. This is how they're differentiating and making their product special.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the main roster not doing this?
Because it doesn't
More
matter.
than just WrestleMania.
Because it doesn't matter.
But if you want to make, especially like a Big Four that's supposed to be 4 hours, you know what would take up some more time?
But
If you do exuberant entrances on the Big Four. If you want to make the Big Four seem super important, and these are the ones that are actually on pay-per-view, why not make the entrances even more spectacular so that people are drawn more and it produces more time-taking elements to the show?
it doesn't matter. Anyway.
It did. It set such an element for the show on Saturday night.
Yep.
Matter.
It helped.
Anyway.
It helped.
They had a good match.
And it made it seem important.
Did you guys make this of a call-up for Dillinger, or do you think it was just giving him the hometown reaction?
I'll tell you this right now. If he gets called up, it's Tyler Breeze status.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want him to be Tyler Breeze status, but right now, if they don't build him up with some kind of great video package and like weeks of showing everyone who Ty Dillinger is so they understand why the entire Toronto audience was chanting 10 the entire night tonight during a main roster show, it's Tyler Breeze. He's going to come up. Some people will get it. Some people won't, and he'll just be tossed into a random tag team with Neville. Just, I mean, get real. Think about it. This guy will be on the cruiser. This guy will be on the cruiserweight division, on the cruiserweight show, in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
Dusty Rhodes Classic TM61 versus the Authors of Pain with Paul Ellering in a cage because we had to promote the toys.
Crash Cage ringside playset.
At least they utilized it.
$29.99.
There was a 6 centon off of the cage.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
I was worried then. I was like, Shane Thorne may die here. And it wasn't there that he died. It was the next. It was the next move where he's on the apron and Razor, from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, Razor like whips his legs out from underneath him, and Shane Thorne does a complete 360, nailing his head on the apron.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this kid's dead.
Going into this, TM61 did nothing for me. Nothing.
This was their best match.
The other kid, what's his name? Nick Miller. The other kid, I still don't care anything about him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I care about them, but going into this match, I really didn't care. I gave no. Now I care a little bit.
Yeah, Shane Thorne, I'm all about. Hey, he died. He kept wrestling.
You do care about the Authors of Pain, though, Doug, don't you?
Hey, throwback, and I feel like they've improved a lot. They don't need Paul Ellering, but because Paul Ellering is still doing the same stuff he did 30 years ago, and it just doesn't play to today. But these guys, if they continue on the same track they're on right now, will be a perfect combination of Faces of Fear and the LOD. So I'm totally fine with these guys being that type of tag team because we don't have one right now.
Yeah.
On the main roster. We don't have a Smash Mouth. We're just going to knock your teeth down your throat. That's what they wanted the Ascension to be, and then they jobbed the Waste Engine out to where they're nothing. So you got a guy like Braun Strowman, cool. You got a girl like Nia Jax, cool. But where's your tag team like that? This is that.
And I dig it. They've improved tremendously.
Dude, these guys didn't know anything about the business 2 years ago.
Right.
Yep.
2 years.
This is your straight out of Performance Center product.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
That's got Triple H molding all over it. Brings us to the next tag team match. The best of 3, 2 out of 3 falls match between DIY and the Revival. And as you guys just alluded to, this match was awesome.
They were chanting this is awesome before this thing started. These guys, I've been watching wrestling for 28 years at this point, and I can literally say that these two teams, the Revival and Ciampa and Gargano, have had the 2 best tag matches that I have seen in like 20 years. The only thing I can compare it to as far as in the 90s that I may have seen is like on a random Raw, you had Bulldog and Owen Hart face Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels in like 96 or 97. 97, I think, in the summer of 97. So it was before Stone Cold broke his neck. That, to me, it was like one of the best tag matches I'd ever seen. These 2 matches from TakeOver Brooklyn and TakeOver Toronto blew every other tag match that I've seen in 20 years out of the water. These guys get it.
It's not even about what they do in the ring in terms of moves, which they are incredible.
It's telling the story of what tag team wrestling is.
It's psychology all the way around.
All about storytelling and psychology, absolutely. And I mean, the Revival could write the textbook about psychology right now. I mean, they're
killing it. They're killing it.
And I love Tommaso Ciampa. I absolutely love Tommaso Ciampa. But to me, Johnny Gargano is just the guy in that team, and he's like, it's perfect baby face. Just the near falls with this guy are insane, and the finish in this match was just awesome. Awesome. The double submission, which just wrapped up this whole story so perfectly.
Dude, the little things, the little pieces of storytelling where they're both in submission holds and they're both reaching out and holding each other's hands. Like, don't you do it. Hold my hand. Do not tap. Hold my hand. And then finally they both look at each other. Wilder has to tap.
Yeah.
Like Dawson starts tapping with him.
It was great.
This match of the year, dude.
10.
I'm so
10,
happy.
10.
I'm just so happy that it has allowed a guy like Scott Dawson to actually become a thing. Because, I mean, before this, he was a trucker. And it's like, now you're seeing his absolute brilliance. And both of them are outstanding, but especially Dawson, their ground game and just Man, these
Dude,
guys are so
even the little nuances that they had, because you know that these guys are students of the game. Their biggest, like the Heart Foundation are a big influence on them. Obviously, their gear reflected that last night. Dawson's over on the side doing the Bret Hart hands after they got heat after the first fall. You've got they actually pulled out the heart attack, which was cool. JT alluded to that. But at the same time, these guys are students of old school tag team wrestling, and you can see it. It's the same kind of thing we started seeing before Tyson Kidd got hurt, between Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. These guys were studying old tapes. They were studying rockers. They were studying Midnight and Rock and Roll Express. They were studying guys like Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard.
Arn Anderson. I mean, that's all I see.
That's why.
It's like, you
can see it all, like day in, day out. You can see the effects of the Four Horsemen, of the Brainbusters, and of the Heart Foundation on these two guys. And it's I honestly have to believe that 90% of that match was laid out by those two guys.
Oh, I'm sure it was. Absolutely. Yeah, Doug, you said everything that I wanted to say there, and you put it more eloquently than I could have. It was incredible. I watched it back again this morning, and still loved every single second of it. Still had my attention to where I was watching the TV and not looking at my phone. I wasn't doing anything else. They grabbed me. I want to see Revival on the main roster so bad, but I am so deathly afraid to bring them up. I just – they're in my opinion, they are light years ahead of what we have on the roster now, in terms of psychology, all that stuff that we just talked about. And I just don't think – I'm terrified that if they go up, it's going to be another American Alpha. And we were all super pumped and super hyped about American Alpha coming up. And what have they done?
Well, the issue was they were turning the Usos to be heels to feud with American Alpha. Issue thing. Here's a little issue that got a monkey wrench got thrown in the gears. Heath Slater got over.
Right.
And the whole deal. They chanted, "He's got kids tonight" for this guy.
Yeah,
he's super over. They chant, "We want Slater." They chant, "We want Rhino," and these guys are incredibly over. So at least I have faith that at some point American Alpha will get their due before they job themselves into obscurity on SmackDown. But at least the faith aspect of Heath Slater has been a good performer for so long. And it took this long, and they're finally giving him a chance. I'm fine with it. I just hope it doesn't kill American Alpha.
Before we get to the final two matches from this show, I got a question from my buddy Jordan, who you know, Doug.
Yeah.
Does WWE watches the crowd reaction to the storytelling that NXT puts in matches? Why doesn't it do that more with the main roster? And I think, to me, what this just boils down to, and this is not me hating on any one in particular, but it's just the man that's in charge. I mean, Triple H is a guy who, I mean, he's watching.
Adamantly listens.
He's watching everything, exactly. And I think that's really what this boils down to when all said and done.
We've talked about Vince, like, here's the pulse. Vince's fingers over here. Still stuck in what he did many, many moons ago. And it's not what he did in the Attitude Era. It's what he did when he was pushing a lot of kids' merchandise and having a bunch of kids sponsors on the show in the late 80s, early 90s. The finger needs to be here, which is where Triple H's is. As soon as NXT's over, Triple H is doing a press conference live on Facebook. I mean, the fact that he even goes on Facebook immediately after a show to address comments and live comments from fans that watch the show, to get feedback immediately and to talk to them and explain what happened and why and all that kind of stuff. That's a guy that's got his finger on the pulse. Now, I'm not an NXT mark that's bowing down to Triple H and thanking him for everything, but at the same time, because the talent is doing their part to get over. The thing about it is Triple H is the one going after this talent. He is the one listening to see, okay, the fans are behind, no matter why. We don't know why, but the fans are behind Ty Dillinger. We're going to push him. They're behind a guy like Joe. They're behind Nakamura. Like, these are why these guys are showcased so well. And dude, it's leaps and bounds better as far as a product goes than the main roster, because the main roster has things that are planned that get changed 2 minutes beforehand because the old man goes,
well, it's
I
also
don't want it anymore.
It's also a much smaller machine, to be fair. To play devil's advocate, it is a much smaller machine. But, I mean, it's something that any good promoter would do. They look for a reaction from the fans, and it's not just wrestling. I mean, you do that in anything. If you're in a rock band and you're playing a certain song and you're seeing that certain song is getting a good reaction, you're going to keep playing that song in future sets.
Exactly. And to you, John, and to Jordan, I say this. If you want an example of how Vince's finger's over here and the pulse is here, Roman Reigns. That's all I got to say. Dude, Roman Reigns has been consistently booed for almost 3 years, and he's still being positioned as a babyface. This guy could have been a main event star as a heel, and they still haven't done it.
Let's get to the final two matches here real quick. Asuka, Mickie James. Really, really, really good match. One of Asuka's best on the main roster, if not her best.
Great it is her best on the NXT roster.
Yeah.
Or pardon me, NXT roster, rather. Yeah, I mean, it for me, I say it on the podcast every time we talk about Asuka. It's the little things with her. It's the facial reactions. It's the intensity that gets brought through that. And at the end of the match, they continue to tease that she's going full heel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. And, you know, I've said it with you on this podcast, John. It's the facial expressions. It's all of it. Great showing for Mickie James. It was really cool to see her back. Although I was kind of disappointed she didn't get a great reaction as I thought she would. As good of a reaction as I thought she would. Cool to see her back. Really good, solid match. No complaints here.
I wouldn't be surprised if she gets a deal out of this.
Oh, I'm sure she will.
Or at least something with NXT.
Something.
Yeah.
I mean, they could use her every now and then, like on SmackDown or Raw, to be a voice to the young generation. Right. I think it would be a cool thing. Great match. Asuka with the sexy, scary. You know what I'm saying? That ominous, but you thought too much. You know. So Mickie goes for the handshake. She holds the belt in her face, just like ain't nobody better than me. I am now dead on a cocky heel. I hope this continues to go forward. I hope they continue to try to build stars around her, which is their downfall right now, because the girls they have underneath are not that great outside of like your Billie Kay, who's a heel, and your Peyton Royce like a heel. But Ember Moon should start picking up some steam, and hopefully Ember Moon will be the next one to challenge for the title, in my opinion.
Yep, that would seem logical. And then your main event, Shinsuke Nakamura loses the NXT Championship to Samoa Joe.
What a match.
Match that I would say was as good, if not better, than their Brooklyn match.
Better.
The
storytelling was better.
The storytelling was better. Samoa Joe is on another freaking level right now. You know, everyone loves Nakamura as they should. To me, Joe has just been the guy with this program, and I mean, the way he goaded him in the finish and the kick to the crotch and then lays him out on the step and then rolls him in. And just like that, it was 1, 2, 3. Oh, man, just so good. He's bleeding from the eye. And then, yes, they played the wrong Samoa Joe theme as we picked up on, Doug.
John, okay, you and I have talked about this theme song forever.
It was a buzzkill.
And you're at your independent event doing your own thing. Okay, you're losing your voice, yelling about a botched finish. And I'm sitting at home watching this thing live. And Frank and I are talking back and forth through the show. JT is now watching the show, but he's not caught up with us yet. And I'm sitting there, and Joe wins this thing, and he's laying flat on his back, catching his breath.
Yeah.
And the music starts, and it's his old trash finish from his debut. It's that old trash music, that theme. And I'm like, I just burst into laughter, and I was like, what? Why are they playing this song? And it quickly fades out, and his real one fades in. And I was like, okay. Hey, NXT, I understand. It was the first real big production error you had all night. Are you using Spotify for the things, production guy? I don't know what, it baffled me. It made me laugh. It was a good hearty laugh because I was like, this is garbage. Why is this playing? Oh, here's the real one. But this brings us to talk about what's next for these guys, because both these guys need to be on the main roster, and we got questions immediately about it. Like, does this mean Nakamura's coming up, or do we think that Joe holds this thing till WrestleMania? And I'm saying, look, you got 3 different takeover events before WrestleMania for this to happen, 2 before Royal Rumble. It could happen to where Joe actually does debut at the Rumble.
Hey, it
Prediction
could.
still could
It
happen.
could, but just don't forget Finn Balor lost it on a house show.
I have to cut in here, guys, because we have some breaking news on the podcast. Pro Wrestling Sheet reporting Bill Goldberg has signed a deal to appear in the 2017 Royal Rumble match.
Okay.
So
All
you're
right.
talking Royal Rumble match. So without further ado, that now brings us to the rumor control. So, guys, the rumor this week is will Bill Goldberg appear in the 2017 Royal Rumble match?
Well,
Yes,
I
apparently.
don't see why not. He did say I'm back. Does this thing take us to a Rumble, like a Rumble match where he explodes on dudes?
Well, this
In that order? Because he's back. You get it?
I get it.
And he is a jack. He does have something called the jackhammer. I'm just thinking now, if they did this, because he did say he was back, he alluded to, obviously if they're going to use Goldberg more, the finish to Survivor Series makes sense a little bit more. But where does this take us? Does Brock come out and destroy Goldberg during the Rumble match, and that leads to a WrestleMania match?
Yeah, it might. It might. It
I had
very-
I had a message come through while we're talking about this and says, "Hey, something I don't know about if you've touched on the podcast yet or not. Haven't watched it all the way through, but because of Lesnar's diverticulitis, hitting him full impact with a spear right to the gut is his kryptonite. Lesnar has a weak large intestine because of it. That's one of the best ways to explain how Lesnar could go down to Goldberg."
Oh yeah, it is, but that's not what they were thinking when they said that.
No way were they going.
Their thoughts do
"Hey,
not go that deep.
He had diverticulitis. He doesn't anymore, but he had it.
Somebody
The
said,
spear rain.
somebody said in the chat room that the Goldberg Lesnar match lasted longer than this rumor control.
Yeah. They're not wrong. I mean, look, I guess I'll buy it.
Yeah, I mean,
You don't,
I'll take it.
you don't book the match that way without having some sort of plan going forward. So, I might agree that we're going to see this at WrestleMania when all is said and done.
I'll buy it.
And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it being your Mania again.
I'll tell you what, JT, that person was pretty close to right because the rumor control ends tonight at 2:19, which sounds about like what the.
Yeah, it's about right.
So how about that? So Pro Wrestling Sheet breaking that news. I would imagine this will be addressed on television at some point. Relative.
I'm sure it will.
Let's get to a fun one now. Why don't we, Duggo?
Mail call!
And of course, mail call is where you send us questions and we answer them. I was getting to one of these before the segment, and now we're going to answer it. Do we think Samoa Joe enters the Royal Rumble still? Because I had numerous times said it would be cool to see Samoa Joe debut at the Royal Rumble on this podcast. I'll say this. There's a Japanese show that they're taping. There's a takeover in January
Before the Rumble.
before the Rumble in San Antonio. If you don't know this, now you know. The big four pay-per-views are now going to be 4-night events for WWE. So you got to look at Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. They're going to have a takeover event on Saturday, the pay-per-view on Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday, Raw and SmackDown Live will be all in the same city. They're hoping that generates a lot of money for the cities that they're going to, and it also should try to make the big four seem more important. That said, there will be a house show in Japan next month, I do believe, at the end of December.
They're doing a cage match down in Australia, I believe, as well.
They're also doing a cage match, yeah. And they're taping both of these.
Are they?
So I know that they're taping the Japan show, and the Japan show was also rumored to be a cage match.
Okay.
So maybe he loses it there.
And it wouldn't be the first time somebody's lost a title on a house show.
No, but I mean, think about the last Japan show that was a network special. Finn Balor won the NXT Championship there, and then lost it on a house show. So the title changes don't have to happen on an NXT program. The issue is, when does he lose it? My thought would be, okay, it's Shinsuke Nakamura. They're going to Japan. it makes complete actual sense to have him lose the title here. And with him coming back from this injury after Joe, I mean, the storytelling here lays this out logically and perfectly. He hits him with the same exact move on the stairs again, rolls him in, does a muscle buster, and wins. That is fantastic if they're taking this to Japan for a cage match where Nakamura can take him out. And I love the thought of that. So, and then that would mean that Joe gets another rematch at the TakeOver in January. So I would, if I'm booking this, I book Joe loses in January and debuts at the Royal Rumble the very next night as a surprise entrant.
Agreed.
Dig it.
Agree.
So there's that one. Matthew, I didn't read the name the last time. Matthew has sent us this question. Oh, okay. So he made a promo for WrestleMania 33 and says, "What do you think? Will this finally happen?" And the graphic is Sting versus The Undertaker, and I can't answer this. JT, will you please answer this the only way you know how?
Stop it. Stop.
Hashtag.
No.
Stop it.
No. As much as I love the Stinger, good old Steve Borden, he's done. Let it go. Just let it go. Let it die. Let it go.
Well, we don't want him to die, but
No, not Sting, not Sting. Let the idea of Sting Taker, just let it go. Like Elsa from Frozen, just let it go.
He went there, folks. He went there with a Disney
Tangled is a better film than Frozen.
And John chimes in with the Disney credit. My wife would agree with you. Tangled is like her favorite.
I've never
movie of all
seen
time.
either one of them. So
Well, you get married and you live with a woman who's obsessed with Disney, especially Disney movies, and you kind of figure it out that, you're going to have to watch some of these.
my wife is more obsessed with Harry Potter, which that's what we went and saw last night. So there you go.
Yeah, I kind of put the foot down and don't watch that stuff.
It
All
actually
right, so
wasn't
Anthony asks, do you think Vince has any jealousy towards the crowd reactions that NXT TakeOver gets, or does he just view this as a novelty act? John, how about you take the forefront on this?
You know what? I disagree with that because
Oh, it was a question. It wasn't a comment.
no, I'm saying I disagree with that notion because, like, watching the show tonight, I thought pretty much everyone got great crowd reactions. There was a reaction for just about everybody on the card tonight, which is good. There's plenty of shows that we've seen where it's crickets out. So, comparing the NXT TakeOver shows to the pay-per-view shows, tonight was a good example that it was pretty much fine. I don't think Vince gets upset about that. I don't think there's anything that he would hold vengeful. Look, the NXT brand, he may not necessarily run it, but it's his brand. He still owns it.
He's still making money.
What's good
He
for
loves money.
Vince McMahon? So
Yep. Next question is from Carl. He says, could Styles face Taker at the Rumble? Taker wins the title, and then Cena wins the Rumble.
you know what? That's exactly what I proposed to you guys in our chat the other day. Just throwing out some ideas.
Yeah.
That certainly would be a way to do a career versus title match and get Cena his big moment, and then potentially the career of The Undertaker, which, man, can you imagine if they did that and let's say Cena wins, Taker's retiring, the cluster of emotions that people would be feeling at that moment in time. Do you feel?
Cena would be an instant heel.
Yep.
Right?
WrestleMania crowd would boo the man for retiring The Undertaker.
And tying Ric Flair.
And tying Ric Flair.
tying Ric Flair.
Because half of those kids would think he broke Ric Flair's record. Because that's all I keep hearing. What's going to happen when he gets to 16 and breaks Ric Flair's record? Oh, you're too off there, broski.
First off, 16's not even the record.
Well, no, he's really got like 22 to 23, but
Dave Meltzer will very much tell you.
yeah. As any historian will very much tell you. Flair will tell you that himself multiple times. The other question he had is, what do you think is next for AJ Styles? And he's going ahead and bold predictioning that AJ Styles beats Dean Ambrose at TLC in 2 weeks. What do you think is next for AJ Styles after he beats Ambrose at TLC?
I can't wait for that match. I think that match is going to be awesome.
I think it's going to be a good match. I do think AJ keeps the belt.
Yeah, me too.
Where he goes from there, I don't know.
Here's one from Jesus. Do you think Aries, if he hadn't gotten injured, he and Roderick Strong would have been in the finals of the Tag Classic, and I'm going to go ahead and say yes. I think they went with TM61 after the Orbital Bone incident.
I agree with that too.
Maybe because, I mean, I don't know if they would have wanted a heel-heel dynamic.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think they were being positioned that way until, and Aries is going to be out until at least next August.
Yep.
I mean, crushed.
His eye socket is gone.
So hopefully, best wishes to him. He also asked, what are your thoughts on Vader? And what his doctor said about him having 2 years left to live with the degenerative heart disease.
Mick Foley went out and made a Facebook post this week pushing for WWE to induct him into the Hall of Fame this year. I can't say I disagree with that.
No, the man deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. If Coco Beware is in the Hall of Fame, Vader.
Vader's one of, people, a lot of people just think about Vader in the terms of
It's time! It's time! It's Vader!
They think about Vader in the American spectrum, but when you think about Vader in his international draw, this guy was a huge star in Japan.
Huge. No,
he was a huge star.
I do think he deserves to be in. What sucks is, and I said it to you guys in our chat, as much as he deserves it, I just dislike the fact that it's just now coming up because he has a heart disease.
Yeah, unfortunately.
People have been lobbying for it for a while, but I get it. And he asked, who are our favorite superstars in NXT? Our favorite superstar that is in NXT right now?
Smo Joe.
Glorious. Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode, huh? It's Shinsuke for me. I mean, it's a close one between Joe and Shinsuke, but it's Shinsuke all the way. Do you think, Chris says, do you think we'll see do you think we'll see more two-time champs in NXT now with the main rosters being so full?
I'll tell you what I want to see. I want to see a mid-card title in NXT.
I do too.
Guys like Dillinger could definitely utilize that to the best of their abilities. Not going to argue with that either.
Two-time, I mean, it'll happen.
Here's your question from Ed. What was up with the WWE seemingly overdoing it with close-up shots of fan reactions during the Survivor Series?
It wasn't just
something.
during
No, it's been happening for a while, and I think it's because at WrestleMania 30 with the Undertaker shock, they got so many good reaction shots that now it's like, hey, we got a spot coming up. Let's see if we can't get reaction shots.
I don't know how long it's been going. I've only noticed it the past week or so.
I didn't notice it until last night.
It's annoying.
I didn't notice it until last night.
Man, is it annoying.
It is definitely annoying. Let's see if we got any more questions here. Here we go from John Howard. The real Warhood. What's up, Warhood?
Warhood, wow.
Long time. Question for the show. Which match was more disappointing, the WrestleMania match or the Survivor Series match between Brock and Goldberg? WrestleMania. This one actually was, even though it was a squash,
got a reaction.
Was interesting.
Yeah.
At least this was interesting.
Oh. The WrestleMania match is painful to watch.
Oh, it's hard. I really can't. Frank still doesn't mind it, and I can't.
No, I can't.
I can't deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's another question about Brock. How do you even build Brock back up to any respectability after getting squashed by a 50-year-old? You have him tear through everyone tomorrow night.
You have him go nuts. Go nuts.
I did that for a dancing gimmick.
Yeah, that's fine. That'll work too.
It'll be hilarious. Everyone will love it.
You see Brock out there just shaking his ass. After we squashed him, this is fantastic. Jazz, Y2 Jazz, says, where does the Revival go from here? Of course, they are going to get their rematch, but after that, what's next? I think it's onto the main roster. I'm so scared. I don't know where.
On Raw, or would you put them on SmackDown?
I think they need to be on Raw, but at the same time, it's like, looking at how they've booked Gallows and Anderson long term,
yep,
I just don't have faith.
That's who I keep thinking about, Gallows and Anderson, when I think about the Revival.
Yeah. But they need to be on there. Like, they need to be feuding with the New Day.
Need to be on Raw.
They do, and Gallows and Anderson need to be back with AJ Styles, but that's neither here nor there.
I mean, they have both on Twitter said, "Nah, we're out. Bye, deuces, we're done." I think that's more swerveration, if you will, from those guys. But let me check the old email and see if we have any questions in the email there, John. If you want to talk while I'm doing that.
What do you want me to do? I can do a little dance here. People can see me now.
And if you got
I
any
can't see that. Hey, we do have an email question.
We do. Okay, let's hear.
Because Josh Jordan always sends us there. With Lemmy passing away in the past year, should Triple H induct Motorhead into the Hall of Fame as celebrity inductees for this year?
I mean, we've called for that. We called for that a year ago when Lemmy died.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
So I would not be opposed to that.
No, and plus,
what other celebrity are you going to put in this year?
We're going to be in Florida, and we would love to see Motorhead inducted. It would be sweet.
Absolutely. And that's Mail Call, where you send us the questions and we answer them. We do that every single week. You can send us questions too on email if you want to.
Only
the
on
LTG
season
podcast. The
on
LTG
season
podcast. That's right. The LTG podcast at gmail.com, or of course on the Twitter machine at the LTG podcast, at Doug O'Mac, at JT Pruitt 25, at Jon Alba, at FManzo3 if you feel so welcomed, at Russell_React, and of course at the LTG podcast, at everything. We're at everything.
Before we get to the top five, I mean, there you just heard the news. We're going to be at WrestleMania, folks.
Boom.
All of us are going to be there.
All of us.
In ever. And it's
Never.
And it's going to be awesome, and we really hope that you guys come down there to meet us. We in the past have gone down for Mania, and we've had people hang with us, and it's been sweet. And we hope to do more of the same. Every time we go to an event together, we see PJ. Every time. Every time. Hopefully
hey, P.S. Our rumor control went longer than the Goldberg-Lesnar match, which from bell to bell lasted 1 minute and 26 seconds.
Awesome.
Wow. How about that? Let's get to the top five, why don't we?
Top 5.
The top five is presented to you by Squared Circle Entertainment, Facebook's go-to destination for all sports entertainment-related discussion. Just search Squared Circle Entertainment on Facebook and request your membership today. See, I don't read off anything, folks. It's off the good old noggin here. So our top five this week is talking about your favorite pictures of Emma that you've seen on Instagram. Let's start with you, Doug. No, that's not what maybe we'll see Emelina this week. We should by now.
Perhaps.
Our top five favorite moments or matches from this weekend. Who would like to start?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and shoot out my number 5. I think it has to be, for me, Bobby Roode versus Ty Dillinger. Epic entrances, really good match. The fans were super hot for him because they're both from Toronto. And I thought it told such a great story. Ty got a little bit of time to pay, the fans got to pay respect to Ty for everything he's doing. And 10 is now the new yes. It's super over. We'll see if it lasts any time. Maybe fans watching on television tomorrow night and on Tuesday night, if this crowd continues to do this, we'll catch it on and it'll be on fire, but we'll see. But that was probably my number 5.
JT?
I'm going to go with that as well. It's really hard to put this at 5 for me because I'm such a huge Bobby Roode fan. But this match was really good, really great. Entrances, great. Ty Dillinger, super over. Glorious, super over. Great match out of both these guys in Canada, their homeland. Loved it. No complaints here on that match. Loved it.
I'm going to go with Asuka and Mickie James as my number 5. Really awesome match. And again, we're finally seeing character progression with Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the most important thing when all's said and done, because Asuka's awesome. We know what she can do in the ring, but we need to see a little more character out of her. And now we're finally getting that. Doug, number 4.
That one doesn't even make my list. Number 4.
You just made the list.
Number 4 for me will be the 5-on-5 male part elimination tag match from tonight. And if not for anything else, for the fact that they used Ellsworth so good. And that story was so greatly told. I don't care. Like, yeah, they teased Jericho versus Owens having dissension. Yes, we got to see some great guys going toe-to-toe and having some good spots. But it was the fact that that little guy got underneath the ring and stopped Braun Strowman from getting back in the ring and then got obliterated through a table afterwards because Braun Strowman is a man beast. That is why that one hits my number 4. Braun. Remix theme as well tonight.
Yeah, it sounded good.
JT.
My number 4 is going to be it's going to be a little shocker because a lot of you aren't going to think this is going to be so low on my list. But Goldberg Lesnar, number 4, such a great surprise at the end. I just wanted to see a match. I had really gotten built up for it. So that's why it's a little low for me. But still, now with what we know with Goldberg going into the Rumble, that gives us a little idea of where they're going. So I'm completely okay with it. That's my number 4.
My number 4 is the 5-man tag match. Really great match. Really enjoyed it. All the way around, great efforts from everyone involved. And, yeah, great stories told with Ellsworth and Shane. The elbow drop looked great. The coast-to-coast spear did not. But still really good match. And these guys, wrestlers get blown up so easily sometimes if they're not conditioned well. All these guys were so well conditioned to go the distance in this match. And I appreciate that as a consumer of the product. So really good stuff. Your number 3, Doug.
Yes, my number 3 will have to be Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. I didn't expect this to be a match. I didn't go into it thinking this is going to be an epic sparring session. This is going to be a great match filled with great spots. I did not know how they were going to get any kind of reaction out of this because I lived through WrestleMania 20. So I'm sitting there going, this guy's 51 or 52, however old he is now. 50? What is he? 50 something?
He's 49.
No, he's got to be 50.
I don't think so. I think he's 49, but regardless.
Even if he's 49, he's daggum near 50 at that point, if that's the case. And I'm going, he's got a tweaked shoulder, if that was legit him saying that. How is he going to keep getting suplexed? How is this going to make sense? How is this really going to pay out? And the fact that it was 1 minute and 26 seconds of a shove with an intimidating stare, Brock looking scared for a second, a spear, and a jackhammer really made me go, ha! This is interesting. I can't say it's great, and I can't say it's terrible, but it definitely has me wanting to know what's next. Who's next?
Yeah. I'm going to tell you before JT gives it, that's my number 3 as well. He is 49. He turns 50 December. This got an extreme reaction, and the crowd was into it for the 1 minute and 26 seconds it went on, and it was awesome. I mean, it was awesome in the sense that they totally shocked us. Will we say it's awesome 2 months from now? I don't know, but
we'll see.
Got a reaction, so we'll let it happen and see what happens. JT, your 3?
My number 3 is the 5-on-5 Raw versus SmackDown Live. Just like you guys said, great spots all around here. All these guys were well conditioned. The only bad spot being Shane getting his head rattled. But I loved it, man. I thought the storytelling from start to finish was good. Good showing for everybody. Seth Rollins definitely the MVP of the entire match. Great showing for Braun Strowman. So I'm happy with the booking. I'm really solid. Really happy with it.
Doug, your 2.
My number 2 is Shinsuke Nakamura versus Samoa Joe. Better than their last match. Super intense. Really good brawling. Shinsuke sold the knee a lot more than last time. Or sold the part that was being worked on.
Yep.
You were worried about that last time. You did point out
he did not sell well the last time around. This time, when he hits the Kinshasa on, like when Joe is sitting up, and that's when he legitimately busted open Joe in the eye. Yeah. And when his knee hit, he fell down, selling the knee again, which is in turn what happened. What led to Joe and him going outside, hitting the steps with the what is the name of the move? Why can I not think of? My brain is cloudy at this point. It's getting late. So he hits the move. They get inside. Muscle Buster, 1, 2, 3. Fantastic storytelling, fantastic psychology, brawling, wrestling, high spots, low spots, intensity, facial expressions, entrances, whole package. Fantastic stuff.
JT?
That is my number 2 as well. Again, man, Joe is so freaking intense. I love it. Everything from start to finish of this match was great. Really couldn't have the only thing going back, and you, Doug, you pointed this out in the first match, he didn't sell, and he definitely did it this time, talking about Shinsuke. Loved it. Great storytelling. It's going to be really cool to see where they go from here, heading into Japan and then into January.
Nothing to add for me. It's my 2 as well, and I think we can all agree our number 1 is the DIY versus the Revival tag team match.
Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely.
Unless JT was feeling Kane versus Luke Harper, but this was
It's got to be Kane.
It's gotta be Kane. We gotta. I mean, look, we talked about this was amazing. They're so good, and they'll have one more match. They'll have one more match. Hey, I don't like the term match of the year because there's so many matches you watch. You're like match of the year, match of the year.
I don't know, dude.
Look,
that was
Come December, we will go back and we will try to figure out the definitive match of the year. We will try. But it's up there, no doubt about it. It's up there, and it might be. It was awesome. It was awesome, and and I mean, I don't know if you guys have anything else to add, but I know that I'm super thankful that people tuned in after Survivor Series. Check out the LTG podcast live on WrestleReaction.net.
Lots of peoples.
For those who are listening to this afterwards on iTunes or Podbean or wherever, we're super thankful. This special loaded edition of the LTG podcast. See, we brought in the 3-man announcing crew, and it worked.
Hey, and I also see where you're going with this segue because it's Thanksgiving week, and we're letting you know what we're thankful for. And we wouldn't do the show if it wasn't for you that listened, for you that tuned in to watch. So thank you for giving us something to do when we have so much to do on top of it. So thank you. And we really do appreciate it because we really do enjoy it. We love hanging out with each other and talking stuff. So it's really cool that you want to hang out with us too. So very sincerely, thank you.
JT?
I am thankful as well for everybody at home, staying up late, watching this, listening to it later, talking to us on Twitter, hitting us up. I love it. We do it because of you guys. We don't do it for any other reason. And I am super thankful for my 3 buds, me being 4, 3 buds that I have gained from doing this. So come Orlando in April, it's going to be
adjective.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be
and
fun.
With that, we only have one thing left to say.
Hulk Hogan, you can go to hell. We're out of here. Straight to hell.
And we are out, everyone. Thank you so much again for tuning in. We appreciate it. And we hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure you follow Wrestle Reaction on Twitter at Wrestle_React, at the LTG Podcast, at Doug O'Mac, at JT Pruitt 25, at Jon Alba. And yes, give Frank some love too, FManzo3. I can't guarantee that the content that is tweeted out by FManzo3 is safe for work.
No, you need to give the disclaimer that it is not safe for work. I cannot pull up TweetDeck at my job because at the time there will be a whatever it is, I Love Booties Daily pop up from Frank Manzo with some girl's butt in the air and other things hanging out.
Sometimes it squeaks over to the Wrestle Reaction account too.
I'm like, Frank, just tweet a roast beef sandwich and that's fine. I can't handle the actual photos that you sent.
In the chat room, it is a lot of people saying it is not safe for work or your wife. No. Not safe for your wife either.
Unless you're Frank Manzo.
Unless you're Frank Manzo.
Frank is a very understanding wife. Maria's great. But listen, guys, seriously, the LTG podcast, I know some of you guys just watch Wrestle Reaction, and that's awesome that you do. Make sure you're checking out the LTG podcast every single week. Doug and I are always doing it. JT hops on with us a lot, too. It's awesome. It comes out every single Monday, and we really, really appreciate all you do who do listen. Make sure you participate in the hashtag Brock Turkey Challenge. That's going to run tomorrow. Send us more pictures of Brock Lesnar and giving oriented. We only got a few submissions, so we want more.
So do we need to explain the contest again? So what's happening is next Monday, I'm going to pick the best one here. We need you to take a Thanksgiving-themed image and incorporate Brock Lesnar. We got a couple good ones, but use the hashtag Brock Turkey Challenge and send us your best photoshopped Brock Lesnar Turkey Day Thanksgiving meme, and we'll pick the best one, and you'll get a shout out and a follow and a like and all that good stuff.
They do. Absolutely. It will be great. And then we're also going to have some really cool stuff coming on the LTG podcast. We're going to have a really, really cool up-and-coming indie wrestler joining us soon who's had some baller matches with some really big names in the independent wrestling industry. And I can't wait for you guys to see that. We have a lot more content coming your way as well. So thanks, guys. And we really appreciate it.
Adios.
And until the next time.
Good night, everyone.
Later.
Bye.
Bye, guys.